Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome to World of Wrestling. Here today to discuss about AEW Rampage November 5th, 2021 review. This was a good hour of pro wrestling, plus CM Punk and Eddie Kingston's segment was excellent. Great stuff all around. This was another good Rampage episode for AEW. I actually have been enjoying Rampage a little bit more than Dynamite, as crazy as that might sound, but Dynamite hasn't been terrible at all. It just seems to me that Rampage is a better flowing show in the last 2 weeks. But hey, that's just my opinion. If you guys differ with that, terrific. It doesn't matter. We're all here to watch real professional wrestling. Compared to what we heard last night of 18 pro wrestlers in WWE being fired from the company, Karrion Kross and Keith Lee both being eliminated from the company. Probably two of the biggest aspects they could have had on the shows, either Raw or SmackDown. They refused to utilize them in the proper way and decided to dump them like they were nothing. They also fired their wives as well, which I thought that was absolutely fucking insane. But hey, I guess they look at it, marriages as a package deal. Too bad Charlotte Flair didn't get fired along with Andrade, and they would have both been on AEW. But then again, a lot of people would say, I don't want to see Charlotte Flair on AEW. Folks, I guarantee you, there's probably a good chance Charlotte Flair would do better in AEW than she is in WWE. But hey, she's been known to having some backstage altercations with some people, so maybe it's best that she doesn't go to any show and she gets the fuck lost and out of professional wrestling, because I don't think she's really in it to actually win it. She's more in it for herself than anything else. I will admit that. Being a Charlotte Flair fan, done my research, and I have realized that she is a little too selfish and not seeing the bigger picture. And that's the problem with her. So anyone that dislikes her for that, I don't blame you. Not one single bit. But going back to Rampage, this was a good show. Really, it was. We had the main event with Adam Cole and John Silverman. I believe is his first name. But anyway, Silverman from the Dark Order went up against Adam Cole, baby, in a really decent main event match. I actually enjoyed this very much. Good stuff by both of these guys. You know, all these people want to talk about, oh, we want big, tall, muscular guys, a bunch of fucking meatheads that can produce better wrestling matches than the smaller guys. Folks, I'm sorry to tell you, but John Silver and John Silverman or John Silver, I forget his fucking name. I'm sorry, guys. If I'm wrong about the name, I apologize. But he's from the Dark Order, and Adam Cole both proved that smaller guys wrestling in the ring can do just as good as taller guys who are muscular. Here's the reason why. If you paid very close attention to the pace of the match between these two men, they delivered a high pace match. That is what smaller guys need to do. That's what makes them exciting. When they're smaller and they're moving at a slow pace, they're not as impactful. Bigger guys can go at a slow pace. And the reason why is real simple. They deliver impactful moves. Smaller guys deliver fast-paced moves, makes the speed and the pace of the match more entertaining. And they can do that because they have a lot more flexibility based on the fact that they don't have so much muscle mass. So that's what makes the smaller guys a little bit more entertaining than the guys that are like 6+ feet tall and have muscles the size of fucking bowling balls. But the point being is, the hard part about being a smaller wrestler and having that kind of paced match is you have to have really good stamina, because if you don't have good stamina, you can't give that kind of matchup. So a guy like Jon Moxley, I don't think could deliver a fast-paced match like that. That's why his matches are mostly more into like brawls than anything else. So he does better with hardcore wrestling than anything else. But a guy like Adam Cole has amazing, he may not have muscles coming out of his ass, but the guy has great stamina. He has good cardio. The guy can go in a fast pace for a long period of time, take a small break, slow down the pace just to gain some composure, and then regain that stamina back and actually go all the way full force, full-fledged, pedal to the floor type of mentality in the middle of the ring. And so can John Silver. So both of these guys produced an excellent match by going ahead and going at a very fast pace, which is what made the match extremely exciting and very entertaining as the viewer. So there you go. Adam Cole unfortunately does pick up the victory with John Silver having a really good match with Adam Cole. So kudos to both of them. Fortunately, the Dark Order suffers another loss. But hey, it's Adam Cole, baby. You can't make the man lose. Now, going to the very first match of the show. So yeah, we had Bryan Danielson and Anthony Bowens going one-on-one against each other in the opener of the show. Max Caster and Anthony Bowens actually both said some nasty remarks about Tony Khan, and he went ahead for punishment. He gave Anthony Bowens a match with Bryan Danielson. I don't know how that was a punishment, but I mean, the guy got to wrestle one of the best wrestlers on their roster. So I don't know how that's a punishment, but all right, whatever. I mean, I wish I kind of wish WWE would do those kinds of things, but they don't actually do that. So apparently getting punished in AEW is not a bad thing. Keep up the work, guys. You may get another match with CM Punk next. You never know. But anyway, yeah. Anthony Bowens actually suffers a loss here with the Bella Lock submission hold, and he ends up tapping out in the middle of the ring. Overall, the match was not that bad either. I liked the opener. I thought this was a proper opener for Bryan Danielson to be in. I think the match he had with Eddie Kingston should have been the main event last week. Kind of disagreed what they did there, but hey, it is what it is. What are you going to do? We had Red Velvet and the Bunny going one-on-one against each other in this TBS tournament to crown the new champion. And Red Velvet walked away with this match. I didn't particularly care for this all that much. This was probably the weakest point of the show, was just this match alone. We also had, like I said, John Silver went up against Adam Cole, and Adam Cole won that match. So that's pretty much overall the matches right there. And then let's go right into the two segments. The first segment, which I'll get into, which actually came after CM Punk and Eddie Kingston. I want to save the best for last. There was an announcement made backstage. Christian Cage, Jungle Boy, and Luchasaurus, all three of them would like to challenge the Super Clique, which is the Young Bucks and Adam Cole, in a 6-man tag team street fight or hardcore match, which actually is taking place on Full Gear as well, with the Inner Circle and America's Top Team with the Men of the Year. So there's a lot of tag team wrestling with hardcore rules involved in this pay-per-view coming up. I didn't particularly think the idea of that match taking place is not the best choice. We already have a multi-man hardcore matchup taking place with two teams going at it. I think it would have probably been better that Adam Cole and Christian Cage went at it one-on-one, which is a new and fresh match that no one has ever seen before. So I kind of think that would have been a better option to go with than adding the two teams on both sides, both the Jurassic Express and the Young Bucks, to this mix. I think it was not exactly the best decision. I mean, I can understand if there was no, and I'm only saying this only because of the fact we already have a multi-man tag team matchup street fight that's taking place at this pay-per-view, and now we're adding another match to that. It's just a little It's kind of like just saying, hey, we want everyone to be able to participate. It's a partition ability to throw everyone on the card. It's kind of a little WWE-ish in a way, but kind of not. I mean, I got to admit, they all were involved in these storylines, but I would kind of liked it better if there wasn't so many mismatches, multi-men matches taking place on this card. But at the end of the day, guys, I'm not going to complain too much about it. It's not a terrible thing. I just don't think it was really necessary. If you wanted to do the multi-men matchup between these two teams, I probably would have kept them on like the main event of Dynamite and had a street fight. But to have two matches doing the same thing, I don't know. I'm not really too much into it. I would have been feeling a little bit better with Christian Cage and Adam Cole one-on-one, but hey, it is my own personal opinion on that. I don't think there's no right or wrong answer to the whole situation, but I would have been a little bit more lenient towards the singles match than a 6-man tag team hardcore match, but it is what it is, guys. But let's move on from all that. That was just a small little segment. The big segment that I kind of felt was like almost a main event, in my opinion, but the Adam Cole John Silver match, I got to give them credit. That was definitely a great way to close out the show. CM Punk and Eddie Kingston, it was built up over last week, over a fucking little backstage incident with two guys talking shit. Well, Eddie Kingston starting the conversation and the argument, and CM Punk kind of like getting a little pissed off at him being rude and unprofessional with him backstage when he's trying to conduct an interview, even though, yeah, he did lose his match. CM Punk was a little pissed off and felt he was being a little disrespectful. So he wanted some kind of apology from Eddie Kingston. God knows, if anyone knows how Eddie Kingston's personality is, he ain't gonna apologize for shit. I mean, come on. So Eddie Kingston comes out after CM Punk cuts a little bit of a promo on him, insulting him a little more. And Eddie Kingston finally comes out with no music, no nothing. Very old school like. A lot of times, a lot of these critics will talk a lot about how it's very stupid that every time someone comes out, their music is always playing when they come out during a regular segment. And it is a little bit, done too much, I think. I think it's been done too many times. You need to change it up, mix it up a little bit. I mean, it's not anything wrong with it. It's just the idea of doing it constantly all the time. I mean, that is not really a great way of doing it. It makes it very boring, very unoriginal, and it just makes it very stale. And it's not all that entertaining to an audience to see that same exact concept done over and over and over again. I mean, it's one thing if you got a superstar like The Rock and you have his music play after a guy is cutting him down like fucking crazy and he shows up and if you smell, that thing, and he comes out and he just stands there and stares down, like burns a hole through the guy's fucking chest or through his head, just staring him down, and he's just showing that expression of being pissed off. Those type of moments I love. I thought those type of ideas were awesome. But when you're just doing a generic segment where there's really nothing going on here, and it's just bland bullshit, just bullshit being blabbled about, that's one thing. This would have been okay. I would have been fine with the whole entrance music, and just Kingston not walking down the ramp like a normal situation, but him just standing on the top of the ramp and just looking at him just like, you gotta be fucking kidding me right now, that kind of look. And him just grabbing the microphone and then walking down the ring and him just saying, you know what, you motherfucker, I'm going to get in this ring. I'm going to kick your motherfucking ass. Some shit like that, But he doesn't do that, which is fine too. I thought that was a nice, fresh look to things. He kept cutting into WWE and talking shit about them. He he went ahead and he said that the reason why he wasn't there Wednesday night, and he apologized to the audience. He didn't have no care in the world for CM Punk. He went ahead and he said, I apologize for missing Dynamite. And the reason why was because I actually had a COVID scare. I was sick. I wasn't feeling very well. I had to get tested twice to make sure there was nothing wrong with me. They did. Nothing was wrong with me. I'm fine and everything. That's why I wasn't here. And I apologize to all of you, but I didn't want to get my best friend and his kid sick or anyone else in the back. So he said I had to play it safe and stay home until I knew for a fact what was wrong with me, whether it was just a normal cold or it was actually COVID. Terrific point there. I think that was great. But then he looked at CM Punk and says, but you, I have no apology for you. He said, you know something? You're the phoniest piece of shit walking on this planet in this ring. Nobody in the back will say it, but I will. Nobody wants you here. You're a phony and a piece of garbage. I thought that was fucking... I really hope that's not true. I hope that's not how he really feels. I hope this is just a fake, phony, baloney little storyline that we're getting here that's made to look like it's real, but it's really not. Because I'd hate to think that Eddie Kingston and CM Punk truly hate each other like this. That would be... You're gonna get a fucking scary-ass match. These guys are gonna fucking kill each other, man. But then again, some people would appreciate that and say, hey, that's alright, man. We can get something that looks real. And get, like, some kind of real feeling from all of it. I could agree with that, but at the end of the day, guys, man, these guys are, they really hate each other. They're gonna fucking hurt each other really damn bad. I mean, like, somebody might walk out with an injury after this match is over, for all we know. But, the whole thing was Eddie Kingston explaining why he got in the wrestling business. He said, look, man, I got in the wrestling business because of guys like Samoa Joe. Amazing Red. I think he said Bryan Danielson also. And he also said, even you, CM Punk, got me interested. You were my inspiration to get into pro wrestling. But did I go ahead and I sell out? He brought that up to CM Punk. He said, CM Punk, all you did was sell and politic your way to being who you are, man. You kissing the booker's ass just so you can go ahead and move up in life and all that bullshit. Me, I played it real. I was who I was, and that's where I got. This is where I got. And you know what? I got to the best professional wrestling in the world because this is the only wrestling promotion in the world. He totally dissed WWE. His attitude was WWE shit, and you going to WWE was the biggest waste of fucking time on the planet. So he cut into WWE on that promo. There's a lot of other stuff. If you didn't check out this segment, go back and check it out. It was fucking awesome. These two guys really cut into each other, and whether it was real or not, I don't care. This fucking was this was great shit. So he goes ahead and he says, you are just a fucking bitch, basically is what he said to CM Punk. CM Punk goes ahead and he's like, all right, I'm going to take off the gloves now and I'm going to tell you the truth. You're a fucking bum. You go ahead and you had all the talent in the world. Everyone in this freaking business thought you were going to be one of the best. And you turned out to be a fucking bum. He goes, I'm a fucking bum. I'm a bum. He started laughing. He's like, he even threw his beanie into the crowd. He was pissed. He was like, I'm a bum. I went ahead and during this COVID pandemic situation, I sold my house so I could take care of my family. I'm a bum. I chose to be who I am and chose to come to the greatest wrestling promotion, the only wrestling promotion in the world. I think that's when he said that part, but whatever. But he said, this is the best wrestling promotion because it's the only wrestling promotion in the world that gives us pro wrestling. And you want to call me a bum? I main evented Full Gear last year against John Moxley for the World Heavyweight Championship. I'm a bum, though. This was fucking great stuff. Personally, through this entire segment, the only thing I could possibly think of is I would like to see Eddie Kingston win this match. Yes, CM Punk is, one of the big names that AEW was able to sign. But when you get down to it, as a real professional wrestling fan, you gotta want to see Eddie Kingston win this match. And I'll explain why. CM Punk went ahead and left pro wrestling. Now, I understood why he left pro wrestling. WWE did him raw. They gave him a raw deal. Fucked him over, fired him on his wedding day, all that stuff. And I can understand all that. But when you go ahead and you insult your fans, and no, I do forgive him. Don't get me wrong. I forgive him because he went out, he apologized, he admitted he was wrong for what he said to the fans. But still, even when you say that to the fans, it's one thing that you're upset with pro wrestling. It's another thing to say to the fans that they're idiots for wanting to watch this stuff because it's so quote unquote fake, which in a way, yes, it's fake, but it's not exactly 100% fake. These guys get injured. If they weren't getting injured, it would be fake. So that's the reason why I say this shit ain't exactly what you would call fake. It's more fixed than anything else. And guess what, folks? You can go and watch boxing. You can go watch MMA. I guarantee you some of those big fights that you see on pay-per-view are probably fixed. Mayweather's fights, I guarantee you their fucking fights were fixed. There's been countless fights that Mayweather has been in that he has gone ahead, fought an opponent. Every opponent fought him the exact same way. They couldn't just sit back and let him come to them. They always chased him. And come on, man. You gotta be a fucking idiot. You watch the tape of what he's been doing in his entire career and you're gonna do the same thing every other fucking bum has done against him. You gotta try something different. And they never did. They always chased him. So at the end of the day, guys, you got to admit, maybe there's a possibility that Mayweather's fights were fixed. If you're into boxing, that is. I actually am into all kinds of combat sports and stuff like that. I love watching that shit. Never been involved in it. Probably best thing I've ever did with my life. More than likely, I don't know. But bottom line, you can say whatever you want about pro wrestling being fake. I understand it's a fixed show, but being fake is not one of them. These guys get hurt a lot, and they have to train their fucking asses off for these matches and really work hard to do what they do in the middle of that ring. So don't call this shit fake. It's kind of it's really an insult, if anything else. But bottom line, I was enjoying this, and the reason why I say I hope Kingston wins, which he probably won't though, is the fact that he's an underdog. And what a good way to tell a story and get Kingston on a good path with his career is to help him get a big win over CM Punk. And if I was CM Punk, that's what I would do. I'd take a step back. I'd make one loss in my career. One loss for CM Punk is not going to kill his character. Not one fucking bit. If anything, this will build a rivalry between these two guys, and they could have another match later on down the road. Maybe spread it all the way out to Revolution. Have this match at Full Gear. Don't really deal with each other for a little while. Then reconnect with the storyline again. Leading into, like, in January of 2022, they could start building that storyline again, and they'll go right back into it at Revolution. I think that would be an awesome idea. I think these two guys would do a great job with a rivalry between the two of them. But only time will tell. More than likely, CM Punk will win this match. I don't know what why they got to give CM Punk this win. I think Eddie Kingston needs it a lot more than CM Punk does. I think CM Punk could take a loss here and it wouldn't make a damn difference for him, push-wise or anything else in between. So that's just my attitude on it. But, hey, what are you going to do? Anyway, what led to the final comment that really broke the camel's back that I absolutely loved is Kingston looked at CM Punk and he says, "Win or lose, I'm going to kick your ass and make you quit for 7 more years. And then you can come back 7 years from now and come back and perform again." Holy shit, that was funny. That got me on the fucking floor laughing. After that comment, though, everything pretty much unraveled, and CM Punk headbutted Eddie Kingston in the head, and they brawled throughout the rest of the segment, and the officials and referees had to split them apart, and Eddie Kingston was showing no signs of fear or anything else in between. He was acting like a raving lunatic in his corner while he was being held back. I thought that was fucking great. Awesome stuff by CM Punk and Eddie Kingston. Both of these guys did a great job in this. I'm more leaning towards Eddie Kingston in this matchup for Full Gear. I'm glad they're making this match take place. I think it's an excellent match choice between these two guys. Match that's never been done on national television before, so I'm sure nobody has any idea what these two guys have done in the indies. They didn't follow them heavily in the underground indie wrestling promotions. So this should be new, fresh to everyone's mind, and it should be a pretty entertaining match. I'm looking forward to it. It's probably one of the best matches on the card outside of maybe Kenny Omega and Hangman Page. Bryan Danielson and Miro's another good match. There's a lot of good matches on this Full Gear card, man. If you're not excited for Full Gear, there's something seriously wrong with you, because I think this is probably going to be the best pay-per-view AEW's ever produced so far in its history. I'm going that bold in saying that, man, because I think you guys are all going to enjoy this pay-per-view altogether. The overall card is spectacular. I don't really have any complaints about what they're delivering to us for a pay-per-view. I mean, this feels like a really important pay-per-view. And don't get me wrong, there's been other pay-per-views in the past they've done that have been really entertaining and very important. But this one definitely feels like one of the most important pay-per-views I've ever seen them build, because they've done such a great job with this, and they've done good jobs with other pay-per-views. Don't get me wrong, even though I'm praising the hell out of this Full Gear card, I'm not saying that the other pay-per-views were not great, but this is it just seems more important, more special. I think it has a lot to do with the fact that they're going to be doing a turn in the company's, direction with Hangman Page, who's a brand new face to the mainstream media for fans to enjoy, that he's going to win his first ever World Heavyweight Championship. Because, guys, if you really look at his title history in any promotion, he's never won a world title anywhere. This will be the first time he has ever won a World Heavyweight Championship on any promotion. If they do not give him this title, folks, I will be sadly depressed about this. A total missed opportunity, and something that they desperately need to do. All the big names that they've had come into this company from New Japan Wrestling, Ring of Honor, WWE, they've all gotten their shots at world championships or a mid-card title or what have you. There's been a lot of big names that people are very, very familiar with. Hangman Page is not one of them. Darby Allin, not one of them. MJF, not one of them. Jungle Boy, not one of them. Even Luchasaurus, but I mean, Luchasaurus is not exactly a guy you would imagine being used in the main event picture. But you get my drift. MJF, no, I'm sorry, not MJF, but By the way, MJF and Darby Allin's going to be a great fucking match too. I mean, these two guys are the future of the company. Both of them being the future and future world champions. But Hangman Page needs to win this match. Most definitely. They need to give him this title. This is important because it shows the fans that they are evolving. They're trying to build new stars. Kenny Omega was a big star already coming into AEW from New Japan Wrestling, if you're a follower of other promotions. Of course, I definitely was when I heard about Kenny Omega with Okada in Wrestle Kingdom. I think it was 2017, 2016, something like that. They had one of the best matches of all time. So when I heard about that, I'm like, wow, this guy, Dave Meltzer's giving all this praise. Well, maybe I should tune in and take a look at this. And for like 2 or 3 years, I actually stayed locked in on New Japan and their big events, and I reviewed them on this channel. I can't afford to keep them on the channel. I don't watch it enough. There's not enough entertainment out of it anymore like it used to. They are pretty much like Ring of Honor, only they're way bigger than Ring of Honor was. But point being is they are just not delivering the same kind of entertainment, especially since this pandemic came about. They have been just really kind of flatlined, in my opinion. I tried viewing their stuff for about a couple of months, and I just was not utilizing it as best as I could and finding value out of it, so I discontinued my service with them. So that's just the way I felt about it, and I kind of felt I did the right thing there because I was spending a lot of money on other subscriptions anyway. So, bottom line, this is an opportunity for AEW to give us a new, fresh star that has not made it as a world champion anywhere on any promotion, and this being the first time. I give them praise if they go forth and do this. They don't, I am going to be pissed. Miro needs to beat Bryan Danielson, Now, if they go with Bryan Danielson versus Hangman Page, I'm totally fine with it. I'm not going to be upset about it. But I kind of think Miro deserves it. Bryan Danielson and CM Punk, they don't need these wins. These are not necessary wins. They're not going to go ahead and drop down to ground zero or something because they lose to a guy like Miro, Eddie Kingston. Come on. These guys have been there for over a year or more. They've been busting their ass. They've had great opportunities at a lot of different stuff. Miro is a TNT champion and a decent one. I think he got shortchanged on his reign. I think he should have kept it all the way through till next year. But hey, Sammy Guevara is not a bad choice to replace Miro with the TNT championship, so I won't complain about that. But bottom line, I think Miro deserves this opportunity. No, not to win the world title, but to get a shot at the world championship. Not to mention, if you get Bryan Danielson the title, the opportunity to challenge for the title, he's going to be losing to Hangman Page. Why would you want his first title opportunity to be a loss? It's kind of stupid. The only best decision to go with then at that point would be Kenny Omega retaining the championship, going against Bryan Danielson at Revolution, and having Bryan Danielson win the title from Kenny Omega, and Kenny Omega gets another 3 to 4 more months as the champion. I don't agree with that at all. It's just going from one veteran who's been in the big time to another. I don't like that. That's a bad decision right there. So I don't agree with that option at all. I think Miro, Hangman Page, both winners of the number one contender world championship matches, have these two compete on a Dynamite episode, and then maybe eventually we get Bryan Danielson in there at some point down the line and win the world championship from somebody like MJF. I would be fine with that. You know, an old-timer veteran who's been in the main event against a young stud like fucking MJF or some shit. That would be my feelings on that. But I really don't know. I don't know what to think. But, I mean, if Bryan Danielson wins, but Hangman Page wins at the same time, I'm okay with that. I mean, I would be all right with it, but at the same time, I kind of think that we should see a guy like Miro going up against Hangman Page, heel versus face type of situation. But that's just my opinion. Let me know what you guys think down below in the comments. Hit the like button, of course, if you like the video, and hit the subscribe button if you're not already subscribed to the channel. And I thank again for you guys tuning in for this review. I hope you enjoyed it, and we'll speak to you guys again soon. I will not be reviewing SmackDown, by the way. I may watch the episode over the weekend, but I'm not reviewing, especially after the 18 cuts that they made already. This company is literally down to fucking bare bones. I mean, literally, they got nothing left. This company is as dead as a doorknob. It's fucking trash. Without Roman Reigns, these fucking shows are garbage, bottom line. Might as well put Roman Reigns on both Raw and SmackDown just to make these fucking shows entertaining worthy to even have people want to tune in for this crap. But hey, it is what it is, guys. So I thank you guys again for watching. I'll reiterate, hit the like button if you liked the video. Hit the subscribe button if you're not already subscribed to the channel, of course, and leave a comment down below, and I'll definitely get back to you on that. And I thank you guys very much for watching. Have a great night, guys. Bye.